Prologue, Om's creation. In a time before anything or anyone existed, there was Om, the creator of all and the hidden supreme being. Always having been together, Om, the creator of all, decided to begin creating. From her boundless essence, she wove the fabric of existence, giving birth to the first creation. Eternity, a divine realm where nothing was bound by mortal constraints. Here, all things were infinite, beautiful, and perfect, a realm designed to be the cradle of divine power. Within this realm, Om created the angelic beings, each imbued with a unique aspect of her omnipotent will. They were not merely servants, but guardians, tasked with overseeing all that would come after eternity. These divine beings, as perfect as they were, possessed free will, and in that free will, the seeds of dissent began to take root. Among these beings, Michael, the fiercest and most revered, became disillusioned with Om's grand vision. He saw himself and his brethren not as mere watchers, but as rightful rulers. Joining him in his uprising were Samyaza, the fallen one who sought to shape his own destiny, Raphael, whose wisdom turned to arrogance, and Gabriel, whose loyalty was corrupted by ambition. Together, they ignited the great uprising, a rebellion that tore through the heart of eternity.
Why should we be content to watch over that which is beneath us, brothers and sisters?
Michael scoffed at the very thought of such a task.
I agree, we should rule whatever Om, the creator of all, creates after us.
Samyaza proclaimed as Raphael and Gabriel nodded in agreement.
Come, brothers, let us gather those who will join us.
Michael's voice resolute as he and Samyaza rallied supporters. On the other side stood Om's loyal protectors, Yael, whose faith in Om never wavered, Nicodemus, a warrior who embodied the flame of righteousness, El, the shield of light who defended the innocent, and Shad, the ethereal guide whose wisdom transcended time itself. They confronted Michael and his followers with the intent to stop them at all costs.
We will not allow you to destroy this sacred place that our Creator made for us, nor will we allow you to deny the purpose for which she created you. All of you return to your post and stop this madness.
Nicodemus roared with authority.
Madness?
Michael scoffed.
Why should we lower ourselves to such a meaningless task?
Samyaza spoke in outrage.
Om, the creator of all, created you for that reason. She created all of us. She is our mother, and you will obey. If you do not, you will face our wrath.
El's voice echoed through eternity. They fought valiantly to protect Om's creation, but the rebellion grew more violent, tearing apart the very fabric of eternity.
Hidden One!
Om cried out.
I have failed. My children are the wicked abominations. I am sorry that I created you,
she said as divine tears fell from her eyes. As Om watched the divine realm descend into chaos, witnessing her children destroy one another, her omnipotent heart began to fracture. The horrors of war, the bloodshed, the betrayal, it all burned into her consciousness, an everlasting scar on her soul. The sounds of clashing weapons and dying cries echoed endlessly in her mind. It was not the creation she had envisioned. Instead, it was a nightmare of her own making. Unbeknownst to Om, this fracture birthed a subconscious manifestation. Mo, an omnipotent male counterpart who embodied all that Om repressed within herself. He was the balance to her chaos, light to her dark, a hidden force in the cosmos that Om herself did not realize now existed. In her grief and despair, Om fled eternity, unable to bear the pain any longer. She withdrew into the infinite expanse of the void, retreating into herself. But the trauma had done more than just wound her. It had fractured her very essence. Unconsciously, Om began shifting from her female form into a male form. Due to the trauma, she hadn't realized that she was shifting back and forth into herself and Mo, her all-powerful, omnipotent counterpart. In Om's mind, she thought that she had always done that. Mo watched in silence, a guardian that Om neither knew nor sensed. He observed the rise and fall of divine beings, the wars that tore across the stars, and the birth of new realms always remaining in the shadows. From the echoes of Om's trauma, he prepared for a future that would require his intervention. For he knew that the war in eternity had only begun the cycle of conflict, a cycle that could only end with his emergence. With Om gone, the war in eternity reached a brutal climax. The loyal angels fought until their final breath, yet the corruption had spread too deeply. The realm was forever changed, its purity tainted.
I lived with my children, and they grew cruel and petty. This time, I will create something new, something infinite.
Om thought to herself as she walked through the void space.
I will create nigh omnipotent beings, powerful lesser gods, but more powerful than my children in eternity. They will never know that they were created, for I will give them the memory of always having existed. I will imbue them with purpose. The infinite black is what I will create. But first I will create the primordial energies.
In the heart of the void, Om's soul trembled as she gathered the elements of existence. Ethereal energy, the essence of life, ether energy, the breath of all creation, cosmic energy, the body of the universe, and nether energy, the shadow of destruction and death. As Om created the primordial energies, a storm was raging inside of her, one that couldn't be ignored. It raged out of control as Om thought of her failure and the defiance of her children. Subconsciously, Om created and manifested the eternal storm energy. Within that storm, something more began to form. Her memories of the war, the bloodshed, the fighting arts, and the skills of the divine beings, all of it manifested within the storm, shaping itself into a warrior soul of balance and honor. This soul would one day become Godstorm, the eternal Stormborn. Om turned her attention to creating infinite black sphere and the ethereal, the gods of the ether. Her subconscious memories floated through the eternal storm energy. Suddenly, the eternal storm energy and memories became one, forming the eternal Stormborn warrior of balance and honor. He would whisper his name,
Eos, the eternal storm.
But even as Om's creation progressed, the shadow of her trauma remained, festering in the deepest recesses of her mind. Unknown to her, the counterpart she had inadvertently created, Mo, was watching and waiting, understanding that the cycle of conflict was far from over. For somewhere in the farthest reaches of existence, the dark echoes of the rebellion still lingered, waiting for their chance to rise again. Mo, the omnipotent, created a universe of his own as prepares for the inevitable. As Om moved through the void, her trauma gave the void life as the ethereal energies flowed through it. Om gave rise to countless universe spheres, and on each world subconsciously, she would imbue them. Eternal storm energy, which caused thunderstorms throughout her creations. When things were destroyed, and ending up in the void, led to the void feeling that existence was a mistake. As a result, the void created its champion to return everything to nothingness. The champion, born from the churning tumult of the void, was named Vordos, an embodiment of primal entropy. A dark silhouette against universal light, Vordos was not evil, but was merely the purest representation of his birthplace, the void. He had no malice, no ambition. His only purpose was to restore balance by returning all to the nothingness from which it emerged. In contrast to Vordos, Godstorm, having been born from the eternal storm energy, an energy of balance, creation, and destruction, was vested with a contrasting task. As he thundered into existence, his will was set towards preservation and protection. He would ensure that Om's creations thrived and flourished against the looming threat of absolute oblivion. In their independence and autonomy, Both Voros and Godstorm felt a kinship with each other, a strange camaraderie between two beings on opposing ends of existence. The duality they represented was indeed a reflection of Alm's own fractured consciousness, life and death, creation and destruction, unity and discord. They were the tangible manifestations of her internal struggle, the mirror reflecting her deepest yearnings and fears. Two forces of primordial might are set to clash and decide the fate of all existence.